Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a magic book review. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. It is Friday. It's Friday. It's finally here. The week is over. All you got to do is get through the day with your job or school or what have you, and then it's the weekend. It's the weekend and we get to party like it's 1999. That is a very old reference. I'm a very old man. What's going on? What are we doing? Well, if you don't know, this is Magic Orthodoxy. It's my little space on the intraweb where I review magic tricks, review playing cards, and I do giveaways every single month. You can follow me over on Instagram. I do giveaways over there as well. And you can even follow me over on TikTok where I do performances of said magic tricks. And what we're doing right now is, it's Friday, and typically, normally, hopefully, I try to review a magic book every single Friday. This is gonna be the Shift Volume 3 from Ben Earl, Studio52Magic.com. Just reviewed Shift 2 a couple weeks ago, reviewed Shift 1 on Christmas Day 2019. That's right, December 25th, 2019. That's how much I love doing this for you guys. I don't even take Christmas off. And that's how much I love magic books, okay? I really did like Shift Volume 1. I stand behind my review on that one. I really did like that one. Shift Volume 2, a little bit, I wanted a little bit more. Shift Volume 3, my opinion, for this book and all three books as a collection will be at the end of this one. Let's get into it. All right, Shift Volume 3. And you know it's Volume 3 because there's 3 now, silver, chrome, metallic, columns, buildings, numbers on there, what have you. Also says 3 on the spine. Another hardback, another kind of like soft blue linen cover. 101 pages in this one, so a little bit bigger than the last volume. Full color photographs, large, really huge photographs. Ben always tries to deliver hard-hitting effects, practical techniques, and magic theory. So every single book in the Shift series is comprised of 9 entries. So there's always going to be 3 tricks, 3 techniques or 3 sleights, and then 3 different chapters on theory. Let's look at the table of contents. So there's your table of contents. Just like I said, you're going to get 3 submissions in each category. So 3 effects up there at the top, 3 different techniques, so 3 different sleights, you can see what they are, and then 3 different chapters on theory, and the bottom, or the last submission, being an essay from Simon Henderson, like it has been in the past. The first trick is called Deep Transposition, and this is an effect where 2 cards impossibly change places, almost under test conditions, all the while you're talking about the skill and nature of magic with them. It's a really surprising ending. The second trick is called Blue Moon Triumph, and as you can guess from the title, this is where you have your spectator thoroughly mix an entire deck of cards face up into face down. Then they'll think of just one of the cards, then they get to shuffle the deck again, and then the spectator places that box into one of their own pockets. So you can't see the deck, but you are still able to tell them exactly which card they're thinking of. And the last trick is called Octopus, and Ben tries to be as fair and open with this trick as possible. In a very clean way, he'll ask the spectator to think of any card in the deck, and then he'll reveal the card they're thinking of. And this takes us to the middle section where we look at technique. The first one is called the Advanced Loe Palm, and this is a top palm. But what makes it interesting is it's going to be kind of invisible. It doesn't look like a top palm, and I would argue that magicians who would probably look for you to be top palming might not see this. The second selection is called the Shuffle Pass, and it's called the Shuffle Pass because it's both of those things put together. It's a false shuffle and it's a pass. And the last sleight is called Touch Think. And this is where you can use a spread of cards that you show to the spectator. And again, they're gonna think of just one that they're looking at, and you'll immediately know which one. And this takes us to the theory portion or the essay portion of the book. The first one is called Always Shuffle, and this is an essay about card control and why it's important that we're always shuffling or full shuffling the deck either before or after a trick, or maybe even after the card is returned to the deck, just to create a feeling of fairness for your spectator. The second essay, similar to book 1 and book 2, is called The Art of Practice. And Ben is going to offer you some drills, again with feet. He's going to talk about balancing, doing circles with your feet, knee raises. He's going to show you a bunch of different ways to do it, maybe even with your eyes closed. Again, I didn't really understand these and how they related to card magic, but I'm sure Ben does. And then the last essay is called Influence and Deception. It's the third submission that looks at just the relationship between magic and deception. And really, I think all three of these essays that are in volumes 1, 2, and 3 kind of really go together. They almost could be a booklet or a pamphlet unto themselves. And then at the very end, there's an afterword from Ben where he talks about just his reasoning and perhaps a little bit more of his philosophy behind why he published these works. All right, so that's everything that's in volume 3. And let's get into it, all right? Let's get into it a little bit. Let me put the book aside here because like I said, I did really appreciate volume 1. I liked it, and maybe that's because it was new, right? And I hadn't seen other books like that before. It was the first one in the series. And so I think it kind of gets you excited and it builds up your anticipation for what's coming next, obviously. You know, it's a beautiful book. I like books, so I'm naturally kind of wowed by books. You can kind of, I think books can flirt with me. So I can be kind of smitten by books, especially books that have nice covers and beautiful photographs. And so sure, I was on board with the project. I think when volume 1 and volume 2 came out, there was a lot of negative criticism from the magic community. Lots of people. It was not very often that I would find someone that did like the books, did appreciate them. But when you read through their comments, right, whether they're out there on YouTube or out there on the forums, people were kind of saying the same things. Okay, they were saying the books were okay, right? Or they would say that they were good. They were also saying that they felt the book was lazy, or that the photographs were just so big, right? There's just a lot of photographs, and they're in color, and they're so big. And then when you have only 90 pages or 100 pages, they take up a lot of real estate. Plus, the essays at the back take up a lot of pages too, especially the ones from the guest contributor at the end. And, you know, it's appearing in a Ben Earl book, so people might think, hey, I'm paying for Ben Earl, not this other guy, and he's taking up a lot of space in this book. I get it. So then people start throwing out the word filler, right? They say, oh, there's a lot of filler. And overall, though, you did see a lot of people say, it was good, it was okay, it wasn't great, okay? So, and you know what? I would probably agree with that, but I would add something that I think is important. And here's my thought, okay? I think the problem here isn't the material, okay? It isn't the material. Hold on before you go crazy. It's not the material so much as it is the price tag. And let me explain. It takes a lot of money to publish your own book, number one, okay? Plus, when you start adding on all the little extras like high gloss, thick paper, costs more money, okay? Full color photographs that are full bleed all the way to the edges. You have to pay extra for that. When your colors and your photographs touch each other, a lot of that is very expensive. And then on top of that, you're doing it hardback, you're doing a linen cover, and with a foil cover, okay? So all 4 or 5 of those things add up. So when the book comes out and it's $50, right? Even though it's $50, what you have to understand is Ben doesn't make a lot of money off these books. The profit margin, even on $50 for a small book like that, is not a lot. I mean, if you tried to print even one book by yourself, Now, obviously, it costs more money to print one book by yourself. But if you try to print one book by yourself at that same, under those same conditions, you'd be hard pressed to find that you could get it for $50. I mean, it might cost you $50 just to print one. So there's not a lot of profit margin on these, okay? And I did generally like the first one, I did. But I just didn't feel volumes 2 and volumes 3 were as strong. And I think when you want a sophomore release, you're hoping it's going to be as good or better, and then it fell short. And so I think that leaves a bad taste in some people's mouths. But I think if these books had been released differently, they would have been received differently. I think these books could have been paperbacks with a much lower price. And he could have said more upfront as to what they were, so that people weren't just guessing. Okay, if he had been more forthcoming and used maybe more descriptors about the tricks that were involved and what you are getting, I think people judge things based off of how much they cost, sadly. And, you know, for me, if you're going to do a trick and you're going to perform it and you're going to add it to your repertoire and it becomes something that you do year after year after year, things like that are priceless. You really can't put a price tag on things like that. And when magicians release their own material and they pull the curtain back on their own creativity and they let you in, I think that is also priceless. I mean, Ben Earl is a wonderful card magician. I think his skill is just amazing, and he's a great teacher. But with these, I think where the ball was dropped was packaging and price. Don't get me wrong, magicians will gladly pay $50 for a book. They will. They will gladly pay $50 or more for a book, but they want more than a nice cover and good photos. For them, they're going to want, if you're going to release 9 things in a $50 book, to them, I think what magicians and your critics are going to want, they're going to want the very best you could possibly release. Right? If it's $50 and it's small, and you're saying, well, there's only 9 things in there, the magician, the consumer, in their mind is going to think, well, for $50 and I'm only getting 9 things, they better be the best things possible. And I can't say that I think these things are. I think Ben has much stronger things. He has much stronger material. So I think if these had been released as paperbacks and been more of like, oh, I'm just putting these out. There's a couple tricks, a couple sleights, and some essays, and the price tag had been a lot lower, I think they would have been way more received better. Or put all 3 volumes together into one hardback book and put a $50 price tag on that. That probably would have been better too. So again, I liked volume 1. I didn't think 2 and 3 were as strong. I didn't think there was as much material in there. And again, I didn't understand the foot exercises. That I was lost there. And just the last essay, which I appreciated the guest essay, but really, if it's a Ben Earl book, I want Ben. I want Ben's voice. I want him to be my teacher. So there was that. But I still think they're attractive books. I think they're beautiful. I think they look great up on your bookshelf. And if you're a Ben Earl collector, like I am, you kind of just, every time Ben puts something out, you're like, take my money, right? But yeah, that's my opinion. That's my honest opinion. But big, huge thanks to Ben Earl for allowing me to have these 2 books so that I could do the review for you. Of course, you can find them all at his website or wherever quality magic tricks are sold. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.